The nervous system is made up of specialized cells, neurons. We count nearly 100 billion in the human brain. The main function of neurons is to transmit one nervous message. Each neuron has one cell body, by closing one nucleus, like most of the cells in our body. Numerous cytoplasmic receptor extensions, the dendrites, real antennas, and one particular extension, called axon or nerve fiber. It is at the level of this fiber that the nervous message will spread. One air includes the axons of many neurons. The nervous message is the set of information that transit from nerve cells to nerve cells. This message is of an electrical nature along a neuron. It always spreads in the same direction, direct help, to the nerve ending, through the cell body and the axon. Let's take a closer look at what this nervous message looks like. Along the nerve fiber first. Since it is an electrical signal, it can be recorded with 1 voltmeter. When placing two microphones, as on both sides of the plasma membrane, we obtain one potential difference, equal to -70 millivolts, when the fiber is at rest. The inner side of the membrane is therefore electronegative compared to the external face. If one stimulation of sufficient intensity is applied, the difference in potential goes up briefly to 100 millivolts, before returning to rest potential. What is called the action potential, which constitutes the visual unit of the nervous message. This variation of membrane potential lasts about 1 millisecond. Below a certain stimulation threshold, there is no message, no action potential created. Beyond a certain threshold, there is creation of action potential, all always of the same duration and amplitude. The action potential, once created, moves along the axon to the nerve ending. The more the intensity of the stimulation increases, plus the number and frequency of these action potentials increase. Let's return to the path of the nervous message. When the signal, electric, arrives at the end of the axon of a neuron or nerve endings, it meets one space, called synaptic cleft, which prevents it from propagating to one other neuron. The arrival of the action potentials at the end of the axon of a neuron 1, says synaptic press, leads to migration and fusion of vesicles with the membrane plasma of a neuron 2, or postsynaptic neuron. This merger frees the allies inserted in the vesicles, called neurotransmitters. These neurotransmitters bind to the membrane receptor located on the surface of a postsynaptic neuron. This fixation triggers one electrical response, of which the postsynaptic neuron, and possibly, if this response is of sufficient amplitude, the creation of action potential. Neurotransmitters therefore allow the transmission of the nervous message from one neuron to another. These active molecules are released by one neuron and received by one other on which they act. Thus the nervous message is electrical in nature along the axon and chemical at the synapse. One synapse can be exciting if it causes the activation of the neuron, or inhibitor if on the contrary it reduces it. One neuron being connected to thousands of other neurons, he realizes at any moment one summary of information received. It is said that the neuron includes all messages received through its teeth. Light. This integration process is carried out in the cell body. The neuron therefore has the function of process and spread nervous messages. If the perceived overall stimulation is exciting, it generates one train of action potential, or nervous messages. Otherwise it will remain silent, and the flow of information will stop there. The new message transmitted reflects the intensity of the perceived stimulation, thanks to the frequency of the emitted action potentials. The nervous message that spreads in one incredible fiber network and connection therefore results from activities. It constitutes one means of communication within our organization. The action potential allows you to convey a wide range of information, sensation, thought, control of movement regulation, in the same way as an electrical impulse, and the support of a wide variety of computer programs.